Hello and welcome to another video of mine. It's Kemal AA and this is your Chelsea transfer news daily video for you guys, where I'll keep you guys up to date with all the latest Chelsea news in the previous 24 hours. And again, it's all about centre-backs. I don't know what's happened in these past 48 hours, but it's all about centre-back news. A new centre-back target has emerged for Chelsea, and I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions, but because I generally believe that there are some smoke screens coming out, and I'll give you my reasoning in a second. But Chelsea are interested in Raphael Varane. I'll be going into detail, giving you guys the information on that. Also, we're speaking about David Alaba furthermore, and also Thiago Silva. He had an interview, and of course, looking like he will be extending his contract and will be here for next season. But before I do get into all the news, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below your thoughts, opinions in the comment section below. Now, before I do get into it, it's snowing heavily. By the way, I live in London. We don't really get much snow, but it was a madness. I woke up this morning, and then I don't know if you guys seen this all over Twitter, all over social media. William Saliba, madness. If you haven't seen the video, go and check out the video. It's an absolute madness. What is going on in these changing rooms? Honestly, it's a crazy world that we live in. But getting into the first news story, I want to be speaking about Raphael Varane. And now this was broken by the mouthpiece for Real Madrid, which is Marca, a Spanish publication. And they have stated that Chelsea, to a lesser extent, are interested in defender Raphael Varane, with Real Madrid open to negotiate a fee of around €50 million. Now, to a lot of you guys, for a world-class centre-back, that is quite cheap, and I'll give you a reason as to why it's so cheap. Varane's deal at Real Madrid ends in June 2022, and he is considering not to renew his deal and to leave the Spanish club. Madrid will try to convince Varane to renew his deal, but if no commitment is made, they will try to sell him this summer. Now, obviously, we're heading into the summer of 2021. He currently has 18 months left of his contract, and this summer he will be going down into his final year, hence why he has got a reduced fee of €50 million. Now, obviously, Real Madrid want to tie him down. He's a world-class centre-back. Their first-choice partnership of Ramos and Varane. Ramos is injured currently. They're not sure if Ramos are going to stay. If Ramos leaves, they're going to definitely want to keep Varane. But really, it's up to Varane because of his, short and length of contract. If Varane decides, listen, I don't want to be here, I want a new challenge, I want to go to the Premier League, then there's nothing Madrid can do about it, but then, accept a lower fee. Now, my question to you guys is, would you take Varane at Chelsea? Do you think he would elevate our defence? Do you think he's good enough? Don't forget, yes, he's won it all. He's won the World Cup, he's won multiple Champions Leagues, La Ligas. His cabinet's full of trophies, he's acquired trophies all his career. He's still young, only 26 years of age, but would he suit our back line? Don't forget, he's been playing with the likes of Ramos his whole career, so he is sometimes mistake prone. He does make a few mistakes, but I think for me, next to a Thiago Silva next season, that would form a world-class partnership, because next to someone with that experience, that leadership, who can marshal the back line, you've got Silva, who can guide Varane, because obviously Varane is going to be entering his prime years. He's a fantastic ball-playing centre-back. He's good on the ball. He's got some nice attributes. I think that, he's got plenty of experience, and he's a winner. He's a serial winner. He's won loads of titles. So it's something that you can bring to your dressing room, bring to your team, and you've got a big name in Raphael Varane. Now, €50 million is a good fee, in my personal opinion. I think that, again, if he had longer length of contract, it would be, extortionately high. We're talking 80 million plus, but I think £50 million or euros, which equates to about £45 million, is for me a very good deal for Raphael Varane. I think that if Chelsea can find a way to negotiate of that fee, I think that we should definitely go ahead. I think that, for that fee, you're getting a young, experienced, serial winner, fantastic, one of the best centre-backs in the world. For me, you've got to go for it. Now, of course, Chelsea are not going to be the only club in for his signature. I'm sure Manchester United, maybe Man City, maybe not Man City, but PSG, other clubs will definitely be interested for him. But I know for a fact Chelsea are not the only club interested. It really depends on where Varane wants to go. He hasn't mentioned that he wants to play in the Premier League. It looks like he just wants a new challenge, whether that's maybe going back to France or playing for PSG, whether that's going to Bayern Munich, whether that's going to the Premier League. No one knows. But he does want to leave and go for a new challenge. Now, the source, Marca is a mouthpiece for Real Madrid, meaning they're not the most reliable. Sometimes they release news, these type of news, to essentially force Real Madrid's hands to potentially offer him a more lucrative contract. It is more agent talk, it's an agent tactic. Mineral does this a lot. And this is my question to you guys. Recently, we have been linked to a lot of centre-backs. Jerome Boateng, Varane, a Thiago Silva contract extension, David Alaba, Nicolas. Do you think as though that it's done on purpose by agents to release these type of news to force the club's hand to offer them a more lucrative deal for their client and of course for the agent. It's only financial, it's for their financial gain and benefit. So do you think that it's done on purpose? It is an agent tactic, it's done widely and commonly. Or do you think Chelsea genuinely have an interest in him? Now, from my personal opinion, out of Schüller, David Alaba, Upamecano, Rafael Varane, Thiago Silva, out of all of them, I think that David Alaba is definitely 100% concrete. I think there is definitely concrete links. I also do believe that Upamecano is concrete links. However, Boateng and Schüller, I think, has been released by the agents on purpose to get Bayern Munich to offer him a new contract. I don't think Chelsea are genuinely interested in him, and I fear that's the case of Real Madrid. I could be wrong, because this is the first time Chelsea have been linked to Varane for years. This has really come out of the blue. We'll have to wait and see how this story develops, as the days and weeks come along. We'll have to wait and see. I love Varane, but I think this is released by his agent to put pressure on Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid, to offer him a new contract. So we'll have to wait and see because of, he's only got 18 months left of his contract. But regarding his abilities and qualities, there's no doubt he's a world-class centre-back. He'll be welcome at Chelsea. But what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But let's move on to the next story, and that next story is regarding Thiago Silva. Now, it's looking highly likely he will be staying next season. Remember, he signed on a 1-year contract with an option to extend, and it looks like that will be activated very soon. He had an interview and he said that as soon as I said yes to Frank Lampard, he sent me a picture of both of us shaking hands as national team captains in 2013. He then carried on to say that he understood exactly what I needed at this stage of my career, probably because he had a very similar move when he was also 36 from Chelsea to Manchester City. He hit the nail on the head from day one, saying, "Thiago, you don't need to worry about your age, it's not a concern for me at all. I'll count on you absolutely, and I want to listen to what you have to say." He said, "I was over the moon with that, knowing everyone at the club, top to bottom, wanted me here." Very nice words from Thiago Silva. It looks like both parties are very happy. Listen, this is fantastic news. We need to do everything we can to get Thiago Silva tied down. We need it for next year. It's not even just the fact that he's a world-class centre-back. It's his leadership qualities and how he is with youngsters. When you have a winner like that who's done it and won it all, that can only be beneficial for the dressing room. Helping those youngsters out. We have a very, very young squad, helping them, giving them a lot of leadership, helping them improve their game, especially the young defenders and centre-backs. He always marshals that back four. We look like a completely different side of Thiago Silva in a team. For me, we have to tie him down. And it also looks like Thiago Silva is very, very happy to stay here as well. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that there is positive feelings from Thiago Silva's representatives and their entourage and their family that they want to stay in London, they want to play for Chelsea, and they want to reach the top goal. So for me, it looks like this is a wrap. It looks like that both parties will be extending the contract for next year. And who knows? Who knows if he still is a starter next year? He could be here for a year after that. We'll have to wait and see. But it looks like highly, highly likely Thiago Silva will be extending his contract. Now, whether he will be a first team starter next season, we don't know. He possibly will be. I think he probably will, which is not a bad thing because he's still a world-class centre-back despite his age of 36. But it looks like he will be remaining at the club, and even if he's in the starter, he can have that impact on the dressing room, in the training ground. It can only be beneficial. It can only be beneficial, and I'm really happy that it's looking highly likely that Thiago Silva will be extending his contract as a Chelsea player. Now, getting to the final story, and that is in regards to David Alaba. I spoke in a lot of depth with David Alaba last night in my Chelsea News video for you guys. But now I want to delve into more of my thoughts and opinions. Now, we heard the lucrative amount that he is demanding. He is demanding £400,000 a week to sign for Chelsea, which is just over £20 million per season. Now, again, insane lucrative amounts of money, but we need to look at the context of the situation. Remember, he won't be, we're not paying any compensation for him. He is a free agent. Therefore, we are not paying Bayern Munich a single amount of money. So therefore, that we can afford to give him, extremely high wages, plus a signing on bonus and pay his agents Pini Zahavi, an extortionate amount, because of course he's a free agent. So in that case, if you're signing up David Alaba on a 5-year contract, let's say £20 million per season, hypothetically, so over the course of 5 years, you're paying him £100 million. Now think of it this way: if we paid, let's say, if he had a long time on his contract, we would directly have to pay Bayern Munich a good, we're talking £60 to £70 million. So £60 million, add on that. So you're looking at over £160, £170 million on top of that. So we're saving a good £60, £70 million by him being a free agent. So therefore, it's not too bad that he's asking for extremely high wages. And listen, according to financial books, if Chelsea can afford it, if Roman and Chelsea hierarchy, they know the financial statements, they can look at their financial situation despite the pandemic and understand that, listen, if we can financially afford this and he can elevate our defence, and he's a world-class player in his prime, then they'll just go ahead and do it. They'll try and negotiate and get him to lower those demands, but if they can afford it, they'll do it. They'll 100% do it. So for me, yes, it's a lot of money, but if it's not my money, it's not your money. If the club can afford it, then it's only going to improve our team. Hopefully, we can negotiate to lower that wage demands. But again, if they can afford £400,000 a week, then why not? But that is just my thoughts, opinions. If you did enjoy this Chelsea transfer news daily video for you guys, please smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below your thoughts, opinions in the comment section below.